Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Medovarski, and the title of my reflection is Ruttier for an Athlete, a reflection on Dionne Brand's A Map to the Door of No Return. I first encountered Dionne Brand's A Map to the Door of No Return as an earnest PhD student in 2002. I was pursuing my doctorate in York's Department of English at the time, while also being involved in several sports, a fact I felt I could not share with most of my judgmental classmates. After all, serious scholars of the sort we aspired to be, immersed as we were in psychoanalysis, post-structuralism, and all of the other isms so valorized in our race for theory, did not participate in or think about such trivial matters as athletics. It was this attitude, perhaps, that led me to, and the metaphor is deliberate here, completely miss the boat the first time I read C.L.R. James's Beyond a Boundary for a graduate course in Black diaspora cultural studies. I became so caught up in my inability to understand the details and specificities of the cricket references that I was unable to see the complex, sophisticated cultural and political analyses in which James was engaging. Fortunately, it was not long after this that I came to Brand's Map to the Door, a book that not only helped me overcome my own Philistinism regarding C.L.R. James, but also came to shape so much of how I approach my scholarship. According to Brand, quote, "The door signifies the historical moment which colors all moments in the diaspora," end quote. This insistence on historicizing the Americas through the ruptures and dislocations of transatlantic slavery, so simple yet so profound, helped me appreciate that, for those in the diaspora, every site, every moment, and every movement has the potential to be an iteration of Black life, thought, and resistance. In the opening sections of Map, Brand traces the complex mappings and unmappings of the Black body, observing that, quote, "The Black body is situated as a sign of particular cultural and political meanings in the diaspora," end quote. She considers the complexities of this body as a site of oppression, appropriation, and exoticized desire, proscripted, prescripted, and pre-scripted, in part through the figure of the athlete. Brand relates the escapades of her noisy Caucasian neighbor who, quote, "enters Shaquille O'Neal's body every night," end quote, of the 2000 NBA championships, in order to momentarily inhabit some of his ostensible superhumanness. But Brand does not only illustrate the oppressive overdeterminations of sport, she also considers its potentialities, grouping it with other forms of artistry in order to consider what conditions of livability might be created through corporeal movement. She speculates that, for those in the diaspora, quote, "art, perhaps music, perhaps poetry, perhaps stories, perhaps aching, constant movement, dance and speed are the only comforts. Being in the diaspora braces itself in virtuosity or despair," end quote. She also articulates these various movements, literal and metaphorical, as important sites of resistance and re-narration, stating that, quote, "To reclaim the Black body from the domesticated, captive, open space is the creative project always underway," end quote. It was not until I read Dionne Brand that I was finally able to give myself permission to think about sport within and not outside of any kind of creative or intellectual project. This past summer, I could not help but think about these projects, and also Through the Door of No Return, as I witnessed American gymnast Simone Biles withdraw from the team finals of Olympic competition to focus on her mental health. Biles entered the Tokyo 2020 Olympics as the most decorated gymnast in history, with an unprecedented 4 moves named after her for being the first to perform them in world competition. She endured enormous pressure as she became the face of the American Olympic team, the greatest of all time, who was expected to add substantially to her and the nation's haul of medals. Less talked about, but of even greater significance, Biles also faced the tremendous pressure of having become the public spokeswoman for the scandals plaguing USA gymnastics since 2018, when it was revealed that a high-ranking team doctor, whose name I refuse to utter, had sexually abused over 300 female athletes over 2 decades, a fact which was covered up by the organization, by top NCAA universities, and even the FBI, which did not respond to allegations for months after they came to light. Biles was the only athlete who spoke out publicly against USA Gymnastics while continuing to compete at the elite level. During competition, Biles experienced what I might call, to again borrow from Brand's map, quote, a rupture in the quality of being. She came down with a case of the twisties, a benign name for a very serious affliction in which a gymnast temporarily loses any awareness of where their body is in space and muscle memory does not take over. Biles herself described the twisties as, quote, terrifying and as, quote, a matter of life and death, given the potential to sustain serious injury during inversions. As she describes in an interview, quote, the twisties came on suddenly. She pushed off the vault and discovered she couldn't see herself in her head, couldn't see the map of the floor in order to land, end quote. Watching these events unfold, it was impossible for me not to think about them historically and metaphorically through the door. Unable to map, unable to land, unable to locate her body in space. Every aspect of Biles' experience resonated for me with Brand's description of the leaving and the taking of the enslaved through the door. As she asks, quote, what language would describe that loss of bearings or the sudden, awful liability of one's own body, end quote. What might it mean to think about Biles' experience metaphorically, given Catherine McKittrick's claim in Dear Science that, quote, metaphors function to radically map existing usable sites of struggle and liberation, end quote. Brand too reminds us that the door was not only a moment of devastation, it was also, ironically, quote, a creation place. What did Biles' refusal to continue in competition create in that moment of resistance? We might read it as an example of what McKittrick would call, quote, black livingness, or what Ronaldo Walcott in The Long Emancipation calls, quote, a glimpse of black freedom. In prioritizing her physical and mental health, Biles acted in her best interests as an athlete, refusing to take a bullet for the glory of Team USA, recognizing on some level perhaps, to again quote Brand, that, quote, the door of no return opens all nationalisms to their imaginative void, end quote. Biles' refusal to push through her psychic pain was also an act of very human resistance, as she rejected the myth of the selfless, strong Black woman to consider her own needs. Perhaps the point at which her body refused to perform was not a moment of failure, but a profound psychic kindness, given that, in the words of Camone Felix, she had, quote, lost the ability to be dutifully compliant, end quote. If we again turn to metaphor, Biles' refusal might also be read conceptually as an intervention into the linear progressivist discourses of modernity, coloniality, and Enlightenment thought, which, as Walcott states, quote, defined the human as a mode of various accomplishments or as practices of linear progress, continually moving toward some unspecified mode of perfection, end quote. Instead of striving toward perfection or superhumanness, Biles instead chose for herself to yet again borrow from Brand, quote, a radiant moment of ordinariness made like art, end quote. If it is true that wayfinding, as Brand also states, quote, can only be mastered by escaping the body, end quote, then Simone Biles took a profound step in finding her way, remapping and unmapping the personal, the political, the contemporary, and the historical legacies that have shaped her. 2 decades after first reading A Map to the Door of No Return, I am grateful to Dionne Brand for providing me with the conceptual tools to think about moments such as these. I am grateful that her work has, indirectly, given me the gift of helping me understand CLR James. And with profound humility, I am grateful for all of the wayfinding her work has provided for me. Thank you, Dionne. from the bottom of my heart.